What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Progress 6 of our Pirates of the Caribbean custom PC for computex. I hope you all enjoy, and a little heads up for you guys, I'm actually making my own website which will contain a summary of all the builds I've completed and more information, but I'll let you guys know when that is live in the future if you all want to go check it out. That is completely up to you. So to start things off, we're actually making a fan grille for the side of our case on each side. Now this fan grille is made out of our clear 3mm thick acrylic, which I'm cutting out into this triangular shape that you can see now. It's pretty simple. I want to make it raised, so I'm creating a bit of a border, and then I'm going to be drilling out some holes and jigsawing out the middle section to make it raised. So by using my drill, I'm actually going really slow and not putting any pressure on the acrylic at all. I'm actually letting the drill do all of the work so that I don't crack it when it goes down. Now another way to help prevent cracking would be to tape it off, but unfortunately I just want to get it done. So now that we have jigsawed it all out, that was the border that you saw before, and now we're creating the inside part. So just measuring that up and then using my jigsaw to cut that out. And this is the part that will be raised. And I'm also going to put all of the sponsors' logos to show some appreciation for their support in the build. So it's going to be raised about that far to still allow for some airflow through the build. Now I'm creating these little sections here, which will be the parts actually raising the system. I'm going to put them on a bit of an angle so that I can still create that airflow through the system while creating that raised section. So now what I'm doing is I've removed the protective film and I'm using the foil to help keep it up on an angle while I acrylic weld it down. This acrylic weld actually does dry pretty fast, so it's a really good solution if you've got a lot of work to do and you just want to keep going and not have to wait too long. I'm applying 3 coats of the white paint to the underside of our raised platforms, and then using my 2-part epoxy to glue it onto the top of these raised sections. This 2-part epoxy is called aerial dye. So I'm gluing it on with the white section face down, because once I put the sponsors' logos on top, I have the white section underneath, which will act sort of like opal acrylic does, and it'll let the light still shine through. So if I've got, say, some RGB fans behind there, the logos will light up whatever color the fans are. So now I'm using my Dremel to remove a bit of the overhang, but I still want some of the overhang there just for the aesthetics of it. So using my plastic Dremel cutting disc, I removed a bit of that. It's now time to peel back the top layer of the film, and as you can see, it is white underneath. Picking and choosing whereabouts I should put these logos. I want to try and keep it nice and even. And now taking the film off, and we are going to apply our logos like so. Now in the future, I want to start using some clear protective film. It's much easier to see through, and it's easier to actually align them up straight, although you can slightly see through this tape film. Also, one thing I recommend for any of you guys who do decide to get your own vinyls, definitely do get an application tape that is not that sticky. It really does help with the application of vinyls. So now I've applied 3 coats of the black paint to the whole section, making sure that I get under all of the crevices as well, so none of the white or clear is showing through. Now after that is done, because it is Pirates of the Caribbean theme, we can't have it looking that clean, so we're going through with some black using a paintbrush, random brush strokes throughout the whole thing to make it nice and messed up. Now the black underneath just act as a undercoat because we've only put one coat of our brush strokes on. Now it's time to add some green foliage to the outside. This is just some of the model plants that are used in, say, train tracks and things like that toy hobby shops sell. So it's actually going to look really nice on this, and we're going to try and mix up some of the colors throughout this section here. I've got it going up the top, and I've also got it overhanging the top, and I'll also put some down in the middle a bit later on. The hobby glue works well. I've actually got my case drying at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see what it looks like after a night of drying, whether the glue dries clear or whether it is still white. If it is still white and there is any clumps left, I will put a bit more green over the top of that just to hide all of that. So now that our paint has dried on our fan grill, we're going to be peeling off all of these vinyls using our sharp blade to lift it off. A big thank you to all of our sponsors for this build. Without you guys, this build would not be possible. So I'm just using my paintbrush with some white, just some random brush strokes all over it, and of course the edges as well. I think it really does suit the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, especially with the paint job of the case itself being very messy, which is what we are going for. I've stuck it on with our 2-part epoxy, and it's looking really nice in place. So with all of that in place, it is time to mess up the Pirates of the Caribbean plaque a lot more, using some random grey brush strokes, some random black brush strokes all throughout the build, trying to get rid of that solid wood look behind. And of course we had that black wash in the previous episode. Now we're adding a bit of that craft glue, which will help us stick down some of our hobby materials. So we're sticking that down randomly in place. At the moment, it looks like it's in one spot, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the glue to dry. Hopefully it does dry clear. If not, then we're going to have to play around with the sign a bit more. And then I'm actually going to lightly dust off a couple. So we've just got specks here and there, and it's not big clumps. So that's my plan at the moment with the sign. Right now what we're doing is we're cutting out a piece of acrylic which will hide the back section inside of the case. This is also going to remove a lot of the white inside the case as well. So you can imagine this whole big piece will be covering the back section, so we don't have to see the power supply. And then once the motherboard is in place, that'll hide a lot of the white as well. The whole bottom section of the case will be gone because we have our custom reservoir going in there. So there's not going to be much white left inside of the case. And I also want to bring some of that green foliage to the inside as well to represent moss and just stuff that you could imagine in the ocean, like seaweed and stuff like that. So is the plan for now, using our acrylic weld, welding all of that acrylic together to create this one solid piece. This is what it's looking like. The skull turned out nicely from baking that in the oven. We've got the boat in place with a couple of tentacles just to show you guys what it looks like. I hope you are all enjoying the progress. Hopefully we can get this case finished next week. Still waiting on a couple of parts, but I hope you all enjoyed. Check out more videos on the channel and we'll see you all in the next one.